Let's go.
Hello, back to my channel. Today we are going to be answering some questions about Cal Poly and what it's like to attend Cal Poly. This is specifically going to be targeted towards incoming freshmen as a resource. We're going to try and answer the questions as honestly as possible. First, we'll introduce ourselves, who we are.
Hi guys, my name's Sarah Hughes. I'm a fourth year graphic designer. Just kidding. Hi guys, my name's Nicole. I'm a fourth year graduating senior in computer science. Woo! Go awkward, non-social people. I'm from Seattle, Washington. I have been involved in some computer science clubs like Women Involved in Software and Hardware, Slow Hacks, if you're into hackathons and that sort of thing. I'm working as an instructional teaching assistant and a grader in the CS department for 3 years.
My name is Sarah Hughes and I am a fourth year graphic communication major and I'm minoring in integrated marketing communications. I'm also graduating as well. I'm currently a student manager at the Recreation Center for ASI. If you don't know what ASI is, it's Associated Students Incorporated. It's just an organization that runs the rec center and the University Union and all the clubs on campus. And then I've also been involved in some clubs that have been part of my major.
And my name is Madeline. I'm a fourth year landscape architecture student minoring in sustainable environments, and I've been involved in working at the bookstore on campus. I am a fourth year architecture major, still one more year to go. I'm from San Diego and architecture has consumed my entire life.
That's how it be.
Yes. So the first question is, what is WOW and should I participate? WOW is the week of welcome orientation. It takes place before school starts and then it goes into part of the first week of school as well. But yeah, you should definitely participate. I met a lot of my friends my first year through WOW, and I became really good friends with my WOW leader, and they're such a great resource and will definitely be the person that you're gonna be asking a lot of questions your first year.
So I had a really great time with my WOW group. I still live with someone that was in my WOW group and I made all my best friends through that. And then I also had a great time being a WOW leader and just being able to mentor some kids and just have a good time.
How can you compare high school classes to college classes and what are its differences?
So this is kind of a hard question because it is like class dependent and major dependent, so this isn't like a one size fits all answer. But in my experience doing the engineering and math classes at Cal Poly, it's a little bit less like spoon-fed than high school, like a little bit less busy work. But then on the flip side, it's a lot more studying on your own time. I think the hardest part about switching from high school to college classes is figuring out how you study best on your own and how you learn best on your own. The first few exams you'll take, you'll be like, whoa, like I didn't know I needed to know all that stuff.
Like, professors won't babysit you.
There will be a few who like have you turn in something every week. Definitely not the norm.
Yeah.
And they'll cuss in front of you.
And tell you weirdly personal things.
Yeah. You might even become friends with them.
Yeah.
Friends.
Do freshmen bring their cars or do they just find a spot that's not on campus? The new rules are freshmen aren't allowed to have cars, I'm pretty sure. But that being said, if you don't absolutely need a car, you won't really need one freshman year for things that you like can't think of right now. If you have an off-campus job or you need to go home a lot, it is a legitimate reason, but you'll find yourself busy with so many things that I didn't even notice I didn't have a car freshman year. There's lots of options like Zipcar, you can ride the bus for free. Odds are like by the end of the first few quarters, you'll know someone that knows someone that has a car if you like really need to go to Costco or something. But if you are like dead set on bringing your car, you can find parking like further from campus. A lot of the spots right by campus are permit only. So for the people that live there, you can try and find someone's driveway to park in. Maybe you know someone in the area, but odds are you won't be able to park within a few miles of campus. So if you don't mind walking a few miles off campus to get your car, it is a possibility. And there's rideshare if you want to go home for the weekend.
We're getting to the serious questions now. How do you make friends that like you? But in all seriousness, it's an important question.
Like finding friends is a really stressful part about the beginning of college life. It can be kind of overwhelming. It feels like a lot of people meet their friends in like their WOW groups or people that live in their dorm or people that are in that first GE that are sitting by them. But that's definitely not the case for everyone. I didn't meet my closest friends until the end of freshman year and into sophomore year. Like randomly, I think I met two of my best friends on Facebook and I met the other one because she was crazy and lived 2 doors down from me sophomore year. And you'll meet people in Greek life or club and intramural sports. You'll meet people just in class in your major. You'll start to like get to know everyone that are taking the same classes as you. But if you feel like at the end of freshman year, the middle of freshman year, you're not like best friends with the people immediately around you, don't get stressed out about it.
Knowing all colleges have an alcohol/drug scene, how would you describe it at Cal Poly? In reality, Cal Poly is pretty tame compared to like big sports schools like USC and UCLA. You can be as much of the party scene as you want, or you cannot be a part of it.
Choose your own adventure.
With that said, your first year, if you are interested in partying, you're probably gonna end up going to a lot of Greek life parties. And these parties get pretty big, so you might even need to know someone to either get like a wristband or you put on a list. They're even gonna like send out these lists of addresses of all these parties that are going on that weekend. The parties can be like pretty big, but your second and third year, you're probably gonna go to more like smaller house parties with just your friend group. In your third and fourth year, you're probably gonna start going downtown because you're turning 21 and all your friends are turning 21, and that's a really fun time. And by the way, fake IDs don't work downtown, so if you're trying to get a fake ID before you go to college, like, don't spend the money on it. If you need alcohol, just find an upperclassman. The RAs will write you up for being drunk and having alcohol, so just be careful. Staying on the topic of drugs and alcohol, how do you experiment safely? Most people I know do drink and have done some type of drug or drugs, but these things don't like really consume their life. On a party, just make sure you surround yourself with people that have a good work hard, play hard balance and will look out for you at parties. If you're trying to experiment with things, like really educate yourself and like use the internet, use people that have done those things that you're interested in trying. And at WOW, they're gonna talk a lot about like knowing your limits, but this is actually a real thing, so definitely listen. Make sure you eat and drink a lot of water before you drink. Know when to tell your friends to stop and when to go home. And don't ever leave your friends behind. And share your location. If you have an iPhone, Find My Friends is a great tool. If on the topic of drugs, read about the opioid crisis and fentanyl just so that you can educate yourself on that, because that's a real thing, especially since cocaine is a really big party drug in college. You definitely want to know about that if you're interested in trying that. Only try things if you actually really want to try it. There's just no point in like pressuring yourself to do something you don't want to do, because you'll probably end up having a really bad experience. Make sure you respect other people's decisions to not drink or do drugs, because if your roommate doesn't drink or has a really big test the next day, respect their space, because you have the rest of your life in college to party.
And keep in mind that weed is legal in California, but you do have to be 21 to have it and use it.
Yeah, so how do you join clubs at Cal Poly?
There are a lot of ways to join clubs. Likely in fall, towards the beginning of the quarter, there'll be a club showcase where all the clubs will be out with booths and you can walk through, see what lines with your interests, something maybe you want to like reach out and try. You can get on their newsletter list. Maybe they'll have like an upcoming event. Besides this club showcase, other good ways to see what's going on with clubs or maybe join a new one is looking at Facebook pages. ASI has a directory of all the clubs where you can look at their contact information, and then also looking at your department newsletters. Just find a few that like really interest you and stick with it and keep going to their meetings even when you have a million things going on or you just don't want to walk across campus.
And that's like one of the best parts about college is like beyond just the academic part, there's like such a big social part and things that you can gain experience in doing. I wish in my first year I had just chosen like 1 or 2 clubs to like really focus on and like really dedicate my time to. How hard is it to switch your major?
So I switched my major from math to computer science after a year at Cal Poly, and my experience isn't the same for everyone and my knowledge might not be the most up-to-date. I knew I wanted to switch my major the quarter before I chose to actually switch my major, and you have to be here for at least a quarter before you can switch your major, so don't try and go do it the first week of freshman year because they won't let you. You start talking to your counselor, you'll fill out a change of major form, request form, which will hopefully get you a meeting where they'll talk about an ICMA, which is like a contract that you'll be on for the next few quarters if they let you switch majors. And essentially it's like, these are the classes you need to take, these are the grades you need to get in those classes, and if you complete this contract and get the minimum GPA required, then you will be able to switch your major. There was a question about switching majors across colleges, which I did do. I feel like it comes down to the individual. If you put in the work, you get good grades, you are on top of making sure the classes you take are the ones you're supposed to, definitely make it seem way harder than it is, with the small caveat that some majors have either limits on the number of people they can switch or they just won't let anyone switch. They also will rerun your application the year you like try to get into Cal Poly with the major you're trying to switch into. Yeah, just stay informed and work really hard to get a good GPA those first few quarters.
What are some of the best hiking trails?
There's so many.
Probably Bishop's Peak. Maybe some would consider that a basic answer. And if you go really early in the morning, like a cloudy-ish day, you'll sit above the clouds.
Anything at Montaña de Oro. So if you have a car, you can drive on out there, but it's a really beautiful place.
The Avila Ridge hike is pretty cool. There's a swing, some swings. There's a bunch of hikes on Madonna, even though people really only know about the main one that goes straight up at the first, but there's like hidden swings on the side of the mountain all over.
Behind Sarah Vista Apartments, there's this thing called Architecture Graveyard. You can just walk there from your dorms, and it's really fun to go there and stargaze at night and bring like a hammock.
Right behind Art Graveyard with a seesaw at the top, and not a lot of people know about it.
Where are the best places to study on campus?
These are unbiased answers, completely. Just kidding.
My favorites is the second floor of the library because there's this really big window and it just looks out on these really pretty trees. Spend a lot of time in Dexter building because of my major.
My favorite spot is also in my major building, but your department will probably have a spot for you to study that's like specific to your major. It's a really great place to like collaborate with people that are studying the same thing as you. I was one of those people that like to go at the very top of the library on the 4th and 5th floors where it's super quiet, and if you like were to eat a chip up there, everyone would look at you. Library mid-floors are really helpful for group projects because you can rent fish bowls. Fish bowl is basically just like this small room, and they have TVs and power strips in there and tables and whiteboards for you to write on.
My favorite spot to study is also a major specific lab. It's called the CSL, the private 24-hour lab for computer science majors that I also studied in the University Union a lot when I was a freshman. So the rec center even has tables and beanbag chairs you can study on, which are pretty nice. And then right off campus is a place called Front Porch, and they have free coffee.
How big is Cal Poly? So we can give you like the number, but I'll also talk about like the feeling on campus of like how big it feels. There's approximately 21,812 students.
Approximately.
Walking on campus, I will run into people that I've like had classes with. I'll run into people that I went to high school with. It doesn't feel that big, and that's because Cal Poly is so centralized and the community around it is really small, so there aren't a lot of like community members on campus. It doesn't really feel that big, but it also doesn't feel really small. Like you don't feel, oh, I'm gonna run into that person that I met at that party the other day. It's like
You might,
but it's like pretty easy to hide.
It will feel smaller and smaller as time goes on because you'll start taking only major classes, and then the people around you and like your immediate like day-to-day life at school will start to become the same group of like 500 people, and even if you've never talked to them before, you'll start to just recognize the people around you in a weird way.
What is the student to teacher ratio like?
I'm pretty sure it's 15:1 faculty to staff. As far as computer science goes, and I think it might be roughly the same for all the engineering classes, as you start to get into major specific classes, you'll start taking them right away, but it feels like about 30 to 35 students per class to one teacher.
I never really felt like I couldn't get my professor's attention. Classes that are really big, like those GE classes, I don't think that they need to be smaller. It's just not really like efficient. In my graphic communication classes, I'll have like larger lectures of like 30 to 40 students, and then we'll have 3 lab sections. So each lab has about like 10 to 15 students in it, and that's when you really start to get close with like your classmates and with your professor. So Cal Poly definitely has a pretty good ratio, I'd say.
Landscape architecture studios are also like about 15 to 20 people per professor.
Are there a lot of internship opportunities / how does Cal Poly help with finding a job right out of college?
I used to work at Career Services, the wing of counseling services at Cal Poly that deals with career readiness and getting you things like internships and job opportunities. Cal Poly hosts a quarterly career fair for all majors, and they organize it kind of by telling you what companies are there and what majors they're looking for. So you can go in with like a targeted approach to trying to find internship and full-time opportunities for the companies that are actively coming to Cal Poly looking for Cal Poly students. And there's also a job board that has like thousands of jobs posted on it all the time for Cal Poly students as well that you can filter by major. Inside your own departments, they might have career fairs just for your major. Overall, especially for the target majors like engineering, business, and ag, they do a really good job of helping you find internship opportunities. But that being said, most of those opportunities are in California. So if you are out of state or looking to get opportunities out of state, you will have to get those opportunities more on your own.
Major has a major specific career fair, and that's how I was able to get my internship / my full-time job. I think Cal Poly does a pretty good job of helping you find an internship, but like you do have to put a lot of effort in yourself. Like the resources will all be there, but it's up to you to like take advantage of them. I would just say that's like the motto for college in general is like they're there, but you have to like do something with it yourself and put in the effort and motivate yourself to succeed and like go after what you want. How have you seen learn by doing being used, this question says in engineering, but just overall at Cal Poly, I guess.
For the CAD college, which is the College of Architecture and Environmental Design, there's a lot of learn by doing. In the construction management major, they build things all the time. Architecture and landscape architecture, we do real life projects, a lot of doing stuff with your hands, so.
We'll hear it probably every day while you're at Cal Poly. Cal Poly is like really career focused, and that's why they do all that learn by doing stuff, but it's been really awesome.
Computer science is in the College of Engineering, but like at the end of the day, I feel like we do the least amount of hands-on learn by doing as anyone. We just bring our computers everywhere. In the College of Engineering specifically, a lot of the clubs are very focused on learn by doing. There's like the QL Plus club, which works with like building robots or something. Like we have concrete canoe club. So many clubs. If you have an interest in it, there is a way for you to do it both inside class and outside of class. A lot of your classes will have labs, like Sarah said, where you'll actually like build stuff.
How hard would it be to get an internship / research opportunity as an underclassman? Not that hard. If you're trying to get an internship like right after your freshman year, it would be kind of challenging. I personally studied abroad right after my freshman year, knowing that I wanted to work the next 2 summers. Start looking like your fall quarter, because they'll already start hiring and at least recruiting around that time. And if you're having a hard time finding an internship, get involved with clubs, like be on the executive board of a club. That's a really great way to network and to gain experience.
So start your LinkedIn account now.
Yeah.
You don't get an internship right away, which a lot of freshmen don't. Study abroad's a great option. Taking summer classes to get ahead so that you don't have to take 16 units every quarter. Also clutch. For research opportunities on campus, Cal Poly has a ton, and some of them not a lot of people apply to. So at the end of the day, if you really can't find an internship and you are super motivated freshman year, do a personal project.
I did a hackathon and a competition. I was able to talk about those experiences in interviews. As a freshman, some companies might not really take you seriously, but that doesn't mean they're gonna like pick on you for trying to network with them. You should go to those like talking and speaking events that your department is holding. All those resources are so great, and you're paying for them with your tuition, so take advantage of them. Is Cal Poly a bike heavy campus, and should I bring a bike? I don't think I know anyone that biked to class freshman year. I brought a bike, but it stayed locked up in the bike lock all year.
Yes.
To the point where at the end of the year when I was moving out, I could not remember the passcode to get it out. My dad was getting so frustrated with me, and I finally remembered it after like 30 minutes. The hills on campus are pretty killer. You're probably not gonna wanna bike on them. People that I know that do bike will bike at like the lower parts of campus, lock their bike up there, and just walk the rest of the day. The freshmen, like, don't bring a bike, and if you end up realizing that you really wanna bring one later, wait till Thanksgiving break, or you can order one when you get to campus. Like, just feel it out before you make any like big purchases or decisions like that.
There definitely are people who bring their bike freshman year and use it a lot, but in my experience, they were people that already before coming freshman year biked a lot, were really active, like already knew that if they had a bike, they would use it to go downtown. Or I had to cut mine out at the end of the year because I didn't know my password either. So, oh, there's bike night.
So bike night takes place the first Thursday of every month, and everyone gets on their bike and bikes around town, and they all yell, "Bike night! Bike night!"
If you do bring a bike, make sure you know how to lock it properly.
You have to lock it through the body and the front tire.
And even then, they might still steal it.
Yeah. As an engineering student, do you have time for sororities if you want to do engineering clubs? Do you have time for clubs and sororities and Greek life in general?
Yeah. I'll speak to the engineering question specifically. I would say 100%. If you're good at time management and or you're fine with making sacrifices, I know lots of people that do all sorts of engineering clubs as well as sororities and still have time for their class. Usually is either the person that's super organized and can get all their stuff fit in correctly, or it's the person that chooses to not sleep, skip class. Like, in some part of their life, they make a small sacrifice. Maybe it's missing one event here or there. But yes, 100%, you can do clubs, sororities, and school at the same time. And a job might be pushing it, but you'll learn your limits fast, and you'll learn how to manage your time even faster.
How hard is going to the medical center on campus? Truthfully. Truthfully, that's a good point. And how hard is it to get an appointment? Our resident sickie over here can answer this question.
I've never made an appointment before. I usually just go in and they have little like check-in things there. And most of the time when I go, I'm able to get in within 10-20 minutes. There was one time I had to wait an hour, but that was only because I went when everyone was sick and during like a really busy time. So if you choose to go in a time that's not UU hour or kind of later in the day, you'll be able to get in right away. UU hour is the hour when no one is supposed to have class, so that's 11 to 12 p.m.
Tuesday, Thursday. I've never been to the health center, so. And you can also get medical supplies for really cheap. Prescriptions, other things.
This is a heated question. What is the diversity like at Cal Poly? Non-existent. No, I'm just kidding. The majority of Cal Poly students and professors are white, and diversity has kind of been a hot topic at Cal Poly for a while now. However, last year's incoming class was the most diverse incoming class Cal Poly has ever had. Cal Poly has a lot of cultural organizations that you can join, so if that's something you're like concerned about, definitely get involved in those. Me being half Asian, I made a lot of Asian friends through my major. That was like really comforting for me. If you are white and you're coming to Cal Poly, just make sure you're an ally. Definitely educate yourself. The reason why diversity is so important at college is because it diversifies your education experience, and you'll learn a lot from other people that have had different backgrounds and are different from you. Definitely understand why diversity is important, because Cal Poly it doesn't look like what the real world is gonna look like when you get out of college.
They're kind of trying.
They're kind of trying. There definitely will be times that you will be angry at administration, but you're gonna be angry all the time no matter what, even out of college. For anyone who has never visited the campus, I think they mean like the area, what type of clothes do you recommend to bring?
I'm from Washington, like I said, and I was super concerned about like what I was gonna wear freshman year, and I just feel like the California outfits are just so different than what I wore in Washington. I'm laughing because they always say how cold it is, and it's funny to me because they're all from Southern California. I watched a few YouTube videos which gave me some like inspiration on what I should bring from more like partying outfits, but as far as outfits for everyday life on campus, I found myself wearing mostly like leggings, comfortable jeans and shorts, and then t-shirts and sweatshirts. Those heels I thought I was gonna need to bring that I brought with me, no. I found myself wearing my heels like once every year. Comfortable clothes all the way, lots of warm clothes and cool clothes because the temperature here varies a lot. Like the temperature can go up and down by 30 degrees. Bring at least one nice business outfit.
I'm from San Diego, where it's actually 72 degrees there every day because they say that it's 72 degrees here every day, and it's definitely not. I was so cold winter quarter and spring quarter. I'm still cold winter quarter and spring quarter. You learn to kind of appreciate it though, because you can wear different like sweaters and stuff like that, and that becomes really fun. To class, I would just wear like jeans and a t-shirt, sneakers. People will wear like athleisure, and what you're comfortable with is like looking really cute and dressing up for class. Sometimes I'll do that just because I feel like it, and that's totally fine. People aren't gonna judge you for doing that.
Sometimes I wear sweatpants.
8 a.m. labs, 7:40 a.m. classes. People bring breakfast to class and stuff. It's very, very casual. Some good walking shoes to walk around campus in. I bought my Birkenstocks my freshman year. I still wear them. They're so comfortable. A really good thing that I bought like right before my freshman year was that Patagonia Nano Puff jacket.
Yes.
Ooh, it's like the perfect layer. It's like keeps you warm. Really good for like the evening classes time. But if you can't afford that, like just find some sort of light synthetic down jacket. What kinds of things do you do on a daily basis to stay active your first year of college? And if you were able to avoid the dreaded freshman 15, what tips can you share?
Don't drink at Starbucks every day. I did that my winter and spring quarter, and I gained 15 pounds. Avoid Starbucks every day. Maybe do it like once a week to get cold brew.
Unsweetened.
Unsweetened tea.
That's a granny drink. Okay, what are 805 Kitchen limited cereal bar? And I'm pretty sure that's where my freshman 15 came from. Convincing myself that I deserved a bowl of cereal after every meal.
I love Metro.
It's called 805
I would eat
Kitchen.
it like every day.
The table, it shakes the camera.
The sandwich place is really good.
Probably not.
Fact? Oh.
They rebranded everything after they got shit on for their, they got pooped on for all their food.
Avoid like Chick-fil-A.
The thing I wish I did sooner freshman year was take advantage of the classes the rec center offers. I personally don't like working out, like just going to the gym and working out on my own. Like I'm not super motivated to do that. But I started doing like the Zumba classes and the spin classes at the rec. It made a big difference to like get my group of friends to go with me, find something active that you want to do, not just something that you're like, oh, I have to go to the gym. Whatever that is for you, and just try and stick with it. Even when classes get hard, like find that time for yourself, and it will help you mentally and physically.
Physical and mental health are like super important in being successful at college. Like you will get burnt out so easy, but also don't put a ton of pressure on yourself to work out a ton, like, just because like you see your roommate working out every day. I never went to the gym my first year, but did like going on hikes with people. Something I wish I knew more about were the intramural sports and the club sports. Intramurals are basically like you don't need any experience to do the team sports. You can get a group of people together to make a team, or you can just join a team as some free agent and you'll be placed on a team with random people, which is a really great way to make friends.
So you'll be surprised at how much you walk just walking to class. Those hills.
Cal Poly Cavs.
Cal Poly Cavs. If you party a lot, you will pay the price for the calories and alcohol, especially beer and wine. Beer bellies. And then studying, what kinds of things would you do on a typical weekend during your first year / while living in the dorms? Especially freshmen are not allowed to have cards when you started at Cal Poly.
Card games.
We played a lot. We went and hiked out to Poly Canyon, what Sarah mentioned earlier. Arc Graveyard also. Because there's a lot of different little hikes out there, and you can go out to Serenity Swing, which is really fun.
I do a lot of things with the people in my dorms.
Yeah.
We do movie nights, go hiking, go to the beach. You'll go to Dagers.
Busted by RA.
Get busted by RAs, yes. I can't think of the things I did, but yeah, I was busy all the time.
Yeah. You're never gonna be bored, and if you are bored, then you probably should be studying. On Thursday nights, there's a farmer's market in downtown SLO. As a freshman, I probably went like every other week, and it's just such a great way to like get off campus. You get to support all the small businesses there.
Friends and I would go to the rec center a lot just to hang out at the pool, and then also there's volleyball courts, so you can play volleyball or spike ball.
Rec Center has a whirlpool,
Yeah.
and it's so fun.
I also had friends that just gamed all weekend, so, you know, just do whatever you want.
Are you and your roommates often frustrated at registration and sometimes not able to get a class that you need? And is it common to need to catch up by taking a summer class?
Varies a lot by department, I would say, and it varies by what year you are. It's kind of like hit or miss. Some people have priority, some people don't. Some people's majors, they can get into every class because they have a small major or they have enough classes. Some people are like fighting tooth and nail just to get major classes every quarter. For a lot of people, it's something that I wish I would have taken advantage of freshman year, is taking online community college GEs instead of taking them at Cal Poly. That might be a hot take, but they're easier. They're often cheaper for out-of-state students. They're way more flexible with your time because they're online and they're not like a scheduled class. Computer science specifically, it is really hard to get classes your first few years. And even in your upperclassmen years, the good teachers will go really fast, and the good classes, or the classes everyone wants to take, will go really fast. If you have opportunity to do something on campus that gets you priority, being in band or joining a club or being in an elected position, you want to be able to really specifically pick your classes, then put in the time to get into one of those positions.
Go see your advisor, plan out like your class schedules, and they'll really help you and give you a good idea of like what the next 4 years are going to look like for you. Something else I did my first year is I printed out my flow chart and my sheet with all the classes I was going to have to take the next 4 years, and I literally still have that same sheet today, and I crossed off every quarter the classes that I took so I could just have a visual of like what I was completing. But yeah, definitely go to your advisor. They'll be really, really helpful. And like, yeah, what Nicole said.
It will vary a ton by department, so what we have to say might not apply at all to you. So kind of what Sarah said earlier about there's all these resources, and it might not be the best marketed to you, but you need to go out and find those resources. They're there. If you want a one-on-one appointment with the counselor, you can get one. You can go to advising for your college, you can go to advising for your major, you can go, some majors have like department advising, and then you can go to the career services for counseling services. So it's there, you just have to search for it and be, you know, motivated to go
And do
use
it
them
yourself.
and do it yourself. Yeah,
For some reason, I would like get nervous about that.
same.
But they are there to help you, and like I don't know why I thought that. I think just as a freshman, you're just nervous to literally just talk to a person. So don't be scared. I like love talking to freshmen. They are so like just want to try everything and like want to know so much, and it's honestly really refreshing and really fun to talk about yourself. So what are the most social dorms?
This changes by year, and it's changed so much since we were freshmen, but all the dorms are social, honestly.
Yeah.
For reference, they lived in the Red Bricks, I lived in the Towers, and so did Nicole. She also lived, but she lived in the substance-free dorms. I was like really concerned about this going in my first year. Like I really wanted to be in like the party dorm, or like the dorm that like everyone was gonna be like in Greek life and like party or whatever. And like honestly, once I got there, like I loved the people that I ended up becoming friends with on my floor and stuff. But I wish I had gone into a college specific dorm, or like a dorm where I would be with people that were like studying the same thing as me. What Nicole said is right. Like the dorms are usually, they're all pretty social. And if you don't really like the people that you're living with, there are ways to find the people that you do like hanging out with.
You can hang out in like any dorm, any day. Like we had a friend from the towers in first year, and he came over to the Red Bricks like every day.
How did you get to the beach with no car access?
Zip car, upperclassmen. That's the way I got there. I don't know about you guys.
Same.
Zip car, friends with cars.
Friends with cars, yeah.
People in sororities and fraternities will know lots of upperclassmen easily as well that have cars. And there's always that person that has a sibling that's an upperclassman. There's also always that person that's from the area that has a car.
It's really easy to find people who have a car.
You'll know someone, at least one person.
Yeah. People feel like the beach is like a really big part of Cal Poly culture, and like it kind of is, but it also really isn't. I would say more of like the hiking, and like when as a first year, like you're really spending a lot of your life on campus, and like you'll have so much fun just being on campus. Like you don't have to escape. Although you should escape every once in a while, just for your sanity. How do I use the recreation center? Okay. I work at the rec center. Nicole had to leave for this question apparently. You're gonna be given a code to get into the rec center. Probably during week of welcome. Rec is open from 5:30 a.m. to 12 a.m. weekdays, and then 8 a.m. to 12 a.m. on the weekends. And there's lots of weight equipment, 3 exercise rooms, a leisure pool, a lap pool, studio classes, open gym areas. It's one of the best rec centers on the West Coast. And you can reserve spin classes and like other high impact classes through the Cal Poly app. And just you can go online and reserve them. And to reserve them, you want to do it the day before the class. And you can do it, I think, the time that we open the day before. And when you're in the rec, some rules are, unspoken rules are like, make sure you communicate with other people, leave space for other people, and make sure you clean your equipment. And if you're a big weightlifter, I'm not like super into the weightlifting culture, but I'm pretty sure you're supposed to like talk to people and make sure you like respect their time and space. And then there's also day use locker rooms, and you can't leave your stuff there overnight, but that's really nice if you have like a class later in the day that's close to the rec. You can like go put your stuff in there so you're not carrying it around all day. And then the rec is more than just a place to work out. There's bean bags and places to study. There's ping pong balls, and there's a ton of equipment that you can rent at the pro shop, which is really awesome. And then polyscapes and intramurals are also a part of the rec center. I won't go into super detail about that because you can just Google it. But yeah, definitely go to the rec center website for more information.
The rec center is great. I love Zumba.
What do I do if I don't get along with my roommate?
Can't relate.
No, I just hit you in the head. I'm sorry. Like, conflict between roommates gets to the point where you can't resolve it yourself. The RAs are trained to help you work through it or resolve the situation, whether that be moving a student or having like sessions with them to figure out the conflict. I wouldn't stress out about this too much.
I have a random roommate my first year, and we did not get along at all. She ended up moving out. I did end up becoming best friends with my next roommate, so I think it really just depends on like the person, and like we didn't have similarities or interests and things, and he wasn't really respecting my space, and sometimes things just don't work out, and that's okay. And your first year of college, like you are learning to live with another person and like share a space with that person, so make sure you check in with not only them but yourself, and like ask yourself if you're being a good roommate. And I think the best roommate is the one that was never there. Just don't leave like your stuff everywhere, and make sure you learn to communicate if you don't like something, and do it really quickly, and don't just like let it eat away at you, and don't just like complain to your friends. Actually go to the source of the problem and talk to them.
A silver lining could be, if you're not best friends with your roommate, it could push you out of your comfort zone and make you make friends with other people in your dorm, and that's kind of what my situation was like. And I'm actually really happy that I was able to not just like stay in my room all the time and have to like try to make friends with other people.
Don't expect to be best friends with your roommates.
Yeah.
Because it's usually not
does happen,
it's honestly,
but
it does, but
really.
It's more common just to be like friends, not best friends.
Yeah.
Like most of your closest friends will be not your roommates.
Yes.
During first year.
Yeah. Most people I know, I feel like, really solidify their friend groups their second and third years. Yeah. What is move-in like? This is when you realize you brought way too much stuff Like all the heels you do not need. You do not need them.
And then you also realize that you, for some reason, want everything that Target sells.
Oh,
Yeah.
To organize all the stuff that you brought.
Move-in is honestly at Cal Poly, I would say, pretty organized actually. Like when I got there, it was very clear where to go. A lot of volunteers to help you move these giant big green carts. Bring like a parent, supporter, bring maybe a sibling. It can be pretty emotional and like pretty stressful, so definitely take a lot of breaks. And it's a really amazing time of your life that is beginning, so take it all in. Take a picture, move-in picture. I can picture the one that I took right now. What should I bring for my dorm?
Well, yeah, less is more. And once you live there for a week is the good time to go to Target and get stuff that you realize you actually need, not before you show up.
Target sells out of a lot of things like little fans and like trash cans, like stuff that everyone needs. So if it's like an essential, like a fan or a trash can, definitely bring that with you because Target sells out of stuff.
Now that Amazon is like so popular, like it was popular when we were freshmen too, but like now it's so popular, you can like wait to order what you're not sure about. So just, and also yeah, don't expect to go to Target for something that you really need because it's definitely gonna be sold out. I want a mattress topper because the mattress is not comfortable. Mattress protector, a shower caddy, a Velcro towel. Velcro ties you can order on Target. Shower shoes, dorm shoes, slippers, Birkenstocks, something that is comfortable to walk around the dorm in, and then closet organizers and command strips, power strip. One's provided though, I think. And then a laundry basket, Lysol wipes, bring stuff to clean things down before you get there. And then I put a moisture absorber because SLO in general is just really moist. I had moisture absorbers my first year. Mold is kind of an issue in SLO. And decorations to feel at home. And then something you don't need is don't bring kitchen appliances and don't bring a vacuum. It's like just not necessary.
I brought a little blender, like those little bullet ones during first year, and I never used it because it's just really annoying. Like if your roommate's there and mine was always there, you don't want to annoy her by using this loud ass blender.
Yeah. So on the topic of dorms, what was your experience living in the dorms?
I was put in the sober living dorm without being asked to be put there. So the dorm ended up being probably 70-30 of people who requested to be in the substance-free dorm, and then 30% of people who did not request to be there. And at first I thought it was the end of the world, but it wasn't. Everyone was so nice and so kind. So I had a really positive experience in the dorms. I was never really best friends with the people in my actual tower. That's just because we had like kind of different ideals and values. But I made I made friends in other towers. And so dorm living it's just, you're in a communal space with a bunch of people, and so you learn really quickly how to be like conscious of the people around you, and how to be closer to the people you want to spend more time with, and how to spend less time with the people you don't want to spend as much time with. I got along really well with my actual roommate, which did make a positive impact on my dorm experience, I would say. I think it would be hard to not like I liked them, but to feel a little bit out of place in my dorm and in my room. But Alexa's listening to everything.
I really, really loved my dorm experience. However, 1 year is enough. Like, cap it at a year, it feels so college-y. Like, it really does feel like you're like in this college movie and like become friends with people that you live with, and it's just like unlike anything else that it's like just one really long summer camp, and it's so fun.
We lived on the second floor, and
basically the whole second floor was just one big friend group, and it was so much fun.
it was, we got lucky because our WOW group kind of became our friend group, and then other people were added on, and it was just really easy. We all like went to the food places together. We had a big group chat, and it was just a really fun time like hanging out, and it did really feel like camp, and I was really sad when it was over.
It's like chaos, but also like this
chaotic
super
good.
fun. Yeah, it's like chaotic good.
There are several Christian and Jewish clubs. Are there any active Catholic students, and do they go to mass together? I'll be completely honest with you, I do not know anything about this. Across from the free study coffee place that we were talking about called Front Porch, which is basically right next to the health center, there's a Catholic center called the Newman Catholic Center. And I'm sure you can look up the times that they do church, go there.
They do church?
Go mass.
A lot of our friends went to mass together first year. Remember?
Mass? Like church?
Oh yeah, Doug Foster.
So yes.
Yes, they do go.
People go to
Find
mass
your
together.
fellow Catholic mates
Yes.
and walk on over to Mass.
Are there many students who are 22 and over transfers?
Yes, there are lots actually. Maybe not in like freshman and sophomore year in your classes. You might not find a lot of people who are 22 and older, but Cal Poly actually has quite a few transfer students. We have like 1,000 graduate students, and then most of the people in year 4 and above are turning 22.
There's like a handful amount of people in my major that are like 30s.
Yeah.
And like
How do I succeed in classes and not fall behind?
Have a good way of organizing what's due and what's upcoming, and plan ahead and don't wait till the last minute, even though half the people will. I don't know, that's such a hard question. Go to class. That is something that,
Yeah.
even if you think like, oh, I just really want to sleep in today, missing just a few classes can really set you behind. Even if you just go and pay attention, you don't even take notes, you learn so much more than like copying someone else's notes.
Professors will notice.
They notice.
prioritize your work.
Go to office hours, so helpful. I went to office hours probably like for every one of my GEs my first and second year. Not only did I like become friends with my professors that way, I kind of feel like because I went to office hours, they would like bump my grade because they knew that I was putting in a lot of effort. And use Google Calendar / Outlook Calendar if you're not already using some sort of online calendar. It's just really helpful to be able to check that on your phone. I use the planner my freshman year.
The journal planners?
Yeah.
I
Do you use that?
Yeah, I love my
Oh,
planner.
Okay, never mind.
I love planners and I love notebooks. I'm obsessed with notebooks.
But also use all the tutoring resources on campus. Like for my physics class, I like went to tutoring every like Tuesday morning. And I think that's the reason like why I did so well in that class. And I'm gonna say it again, you're paying for these resources, so you better use them.
Also, if you fail, it's fine. It's not the end of the world. Just learn try and understand what went wrong and adjust. Hopefully it's just a midterm exam or something, but if you fail a class, it really isn't the end of the world, so
Yeah.
don't think the world is over.
How should I take notes in class? I personally do a mixture of online on like my laptop and in a notebook. If it's like a class that they release all the slides and stuff, then I'll take notes in a notebook usually, and then for a class that I know I'm gonna take like a ton of notes in, I'll take it on my laptop.
Plus, if you're a more visual learner, like myself, it really helps to take notes in a notebook because then you can like draw diagrams, you can draw tables, whereas on a computer that doesn't really work as well.
It depends on your major, but I would say studies show that you learn better if you write stuff down versus typing it. And I took all handwritten notes even when everyone around me was taking computer notes, and it feels like you have to study less in the end because you like remember writing it down. So
Blue ink is easier to remember than black ink.
I haven't heard that.
That's why I bought
I
blue
haven't heard that
pen.
either.
If you're gonna be on a computer, don't be that person in the front row who's like on
Yeah.
social media on their computer and everyone can see it, and it's just really
So
awkward.
distracting.
School supplies do I need?
Everything.
No, not everything. I'm still using school supplies from like high school.
I could literally make a whole entire video about pens.
Notebooks and a laptop. That's all you like really need, and then whatever you need for like your major. But
highlighters.
highlighters,
Ooh,
yeah.
I will say it could be good to wait the first
Yeah.
week until you buy, because you could buy all these notebooks and then only use one. I've used one notebook for 3 classes before, so
Yeah.
definitely
Yeah.
wait and see what your professors say.
At the end of the quarter, I'll rip out some of those old notes and just reuse that same notebook
Yeah.
for the class for the next quarter. Like I still have some notebooks from like freshman year because I just bought too many.
If you want to be the most popular person in class,
my
if
God.
you bring I'm not kidding, if you bring a miniature stapler and you keep it in your backpack, you'll be so shocked, especially freshman year when you're taking those GEs where you have to like turn in papers and stuff. Someone's always like, does someone have a stapler? And then it actually was really useful.
The backpack.
Oh, a good backpack. None of that fashionable.
Everyone has those North Face backpacks.
Yeah.
I had a Patagonia
Those black
one freshman
ones.
year.
I have a Patagonia, or no, I have a North Face.
I use the Fjallraven. I've had that since senior year of high school. On it, like I feel like in high school towards the end, I like would just bring a book bag. Don't just bring a backpack. Just bring a backpack.
Yeah.
Should I let my Cal Poly emails forward to my personal email?
Yes.
I use my Cal Poly email.
I started using
Everything. Yeah. I have no problem. It's like fine. I have the app on my phone. It works fine.
It is actually nice to keep them separate sometimes, because then you can just check like this is all my school stuff and then this is all the other crap that I get.
I just get a lot of emails, and so if they weren't going to one email, stuff would slip through the cracks, so I forward my email.
But if you do forward your email to a personal email, if you go into Gmail at least, you can set it to have the ability to reply from a different email. So I have mine set up to as a drop-down menu where I'll click the Cal Poly email to reply back to professors and stuff. Professors actually request for you to reply from the Cal Poly email. How much money do you spend outside of meal plans? I would say, let's say like in a week.
I didn't.
It changes a lot. Freshman year, not really. Maybe like once a week or less we would go to eat out.
For fun stuff for like 1 week, for like if you're gonna go to like a restaurant or Farmers or something, like maybe set aside like $20. And then outside of that, I would sometimes like online shop or, but that wasn't like every week. And then like what Larissa said, like going to Target and buying like sometimes some snacks and stuff. But you really don't spend very much outside of the meal plan, and you really shouldn't, because you're paying a lot for the meal plans and you should be using all those plus dollars. Where should I buy my textbooks?
Amazon.
The bookstore.
No, don't.
Amazon. This page on Facebook where you can
Cal
people
Poly
like
buy-
post their textbooks that you can like
PDFs.
buy from them.
There are certain things though that you have to get at the bookstore, like books and lab manuals and certain like architecture supplies. And
There's also a sneaky thing if you just type in the name of the book and the word PDF after it. 25% of the time there'll be a free PDF online. You won't even need to buy a book, and renting it, the digital copy on Amazon can be
Or
like,
Chegg.
or
Chegg.
Chegg is really cheap.
Yeah, but
Zero reason.
buy used.
Also wait to, like, they're gonna give you can go on the bookstore's website and you can look up which textbooks you need for that class. Half the time you're not gonna need all those textbooks.
Yeah.
So wait until like a week into the quarter to find out from the professor what you're actually gonna need, and ask yourself if you're actually gonna read that textbook, because you don't want to drop $100 on the textbook that you're never gonna touch, or that you could just like share with a classmate or something. But I rented a lot of mine from Amazon and Chegg.
Almost all the books are on reserve at the library for students enrolled in those courses, and you can check them out for a few hours at a time, so don't feel like you need to buy the books.
I did the reserve thing, and it was actually really nice, because then it like forced me to actually like read it during the rental time that you had, because you could only check out the book for like 2 hours. Did I study abroad?
If you can.
Yes.
If you are
the
financially
money.
able to, it is really expensive.
There's a lot of scholarships though.
Yeah, a lot of
that you can do.
scholarships. Yeah, I did a non-affiliated program with Cal Poly, and it was like half the price, if not more than that. So if you can research into those programs and stuff. I personally studied abroad in Korea, and like it was so fun. I did it the summer after my freshman year. I liked that I did it at that time, because I mentioned before I was able to do an internship my third year. Most people do it usually fall quarter of their third year, I believe.
If you're an engineering major, especially CS, there's not a lot of opportunities to do study abroad, so I would definitely recommend trying to do it somewhere in between first and second year, or fall quarter of your second year. You'll realize once you're in third and fourth year, you just can't take the time off.
Study abroad, folks.
Jobs on campus, and should I get a job my freshman year? I got a job towards the end of my freshman year, the spring quarter, at the sandwich place on campus. It wasn't the most glamorous place to work, but it was really nice, because I got like free meals, and it was nice to have like extra spending money, and I'm someone that really likes to work, so I enjoyed the job even though it wasn't the best job, and I like met people there, and it was fun. And then my second through now, I would now work at the rec center, and I personally like working on campus, because then you can just head to a shift right after class is over, and there's quite a few work study options too if you needed help with like tuition.
Your department will have opportunities as well to be things like a paid TA, or a tutor, or a grader.
Really up to you and like what you think you can manage. And on campus jobs are a lot more understanding if you have like a final you need to study for, or like they know that it's dead week, so like you're gonna be really busy.
Can get holidays off a lot of the time too.
Yeah. But I rush Greek life, so none of us are in Greek life.
disclaimer.
But we definitely know people that are in Greek life and that have really enjoyed it, but it's not like a huge presence on campus. My first year I lived with a lot of people that were in Greek life, so it felt like a bigger presence to me, but I didn't feel like the pressure to have to be a part of it. And I also rushed my freshman year, and I'm like, because I was curious about it, and then I ended up dropping out halfway through, and I'm really glad I did, because I felt like I would have been wondering like my whole first year, like should I have done it, should I have not? To be honest, I'm really glad that I didn't end up doing it. I just felt like it wouldn't have been worth like the money for me, because I met my like best friends, and a lot of people I know that are like in their 4th year in Greek life are kind of like they want to drop, but they are trying to stay on because of all the events and stuff.
If it's like something that you could see yourself doing and loving, then totally do it. But only like 15 to 17% of Cal Poly is active in Greek life, which is a really small portion compared to a lot of other big schools.
So you don't have to rush your first year.
Yeah.
A lot of my friends rush their 2nd or 3rd year.
Online dating scene at Cal Poly. Dating at Cal Poly.
Tinder! It's a small place.
Small place. Some of us have found love, let me tell you.
Not on Tinder.
Don't put pressure on it though.
I met my boyfriend because we're in the same major and we've been dating for 2 years, but that's just one story, and people meet people
Yeah.
a lot of different ways, so.
I've met people through my major. So I feel like going through your major and people that you like have shared some similarities with are like the way to go. Or Tinder.
Or friends of friends. You'll meet people with friends.
I went through my major. Yeah.
Okay.
Don't put pressure on yourself to meet the love of your life in college.
No.
Only 9% of the US population met their partner on college.
Women's healthcare in slow.
Okay, if you need like Plan B, or if you just like need to get an IUD, there's a Planned Parenthood and there's something called the Center.
The Center.
Look up both of those. You can Google them, but there are options in SLO.
UTI's health center.
Yes. Best places to be outside in SLO.
Everywhere.
Everywhere.
Hiking.
What? Oh my god, coffee!
Staging.
Best restaurants in SLO. Skinny Pop.
Skinny Pop. Alright, my expensive is Giuseppe's downtown. Least expensive. Yeah, I don't know if I would call this least expensive, but it's my favorite place ever in SLO. And it's Thai Palace. Favorite coffee shop is definitely Field Day Coffee. Best place to eat on campus. Poly Deli.
Expensive restaurant would probably be Luna Red. I really like their tacos, and their drinks are really good. Favorite cheap would probably be Tacos de Acapulco, because I love their burritos, and I usually just get a bean, cheese, and rice burrito, and that's like $6.50, $7. Super good. And then favorite coffee place is Nautical Bean. Their chai latte is one of my favorites. And favorite place to eat on campus when I was a freshman was probably either Campus Market. I really liked their veggie burgers were really good. That was just like a treat. And then yeah, just anything at Campus Market actually. Yeah.
Most expensive, I would say Goshi Sushi. Cheap is Firestone for the tri-tip. And then coffee, I don't drink coffee, but I do like to study at coffee places, and Kreuzberg is a really great spot downtown. Favorite place on campus is also Campus Market. Tri-tip outside at Campus Market is so good.
My favorite expensive place is called Taste. It's owned by a catering company and it's a little bit outside of town. But cheap places, I love High Street Deli. If you go after 420, their sandwiches are $6.99. And Ziggy's, it's not super cheap, but it's a fast food vegan restaurant. My favorite coffee shop is Naughty Bean, aka Nautical Bean. They have multiple locations, and they have really good iced chai, they have really good iced coffee, and they have really good like snacks and like burritos and eggs and stuff. Favorite on-campus place would have to be Red Rad or Mustang Station. If you are vegetarian, you can get, or vegan even, you can get custom calzones that are meat-free and made with veggies, and you just have to ask them to make one without cheese if you're vegan, because the dough's vegan. So that's a really good option.
We've reached the final question a few hours later. What advice would you give your freshman self?
Reflect on the best 4 years of my life.
I definitely would have advised my younger self to get more involved in clubs and on-campus activities. I think that I was too involved and too preoccupied with like the classes that I was taking and my major specifically, and I wish that I had branched out more.
Mine is very similar to Larissa's. I wish I was in one club, but then I didn't really stick with it, so I kind of wish I would have joined more like school activities, and I tried to do a couple things, but nothing just really stuck. So I wish I would have tried to take more like ceramics classes or like stuff that the school was putting on that I didn't really know was happening until later years, and then just to talk to everyone. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like when you're a freshman, you're so preoccupied with seeming like feeling cool or being a little more reserved. I don't know, in that kind of sense. And I think that the best advice you could give to someone younger would be just like literally talk to everyone.
You know that feeling that you had at the end of high school when you were like, wow, 4 years just went by so fast and I'm probably not going to see a lot of these people ever again, and like I wish I had done that and I wish I'd done that. College is kind of, now that I'm in my 4th year, I'm kind of feeling the same way where I'm like, wow, I should have just done that. Like, why didn't I do that? It's just 4 years of like, why was I embarrassed to do that? Or why was I embarrassed to do that? It's literally just the next 4 years of your life. These are the people I'm going to keep up with post-college. But just don't be afraid to put yourself out there. And if you do get rejected, I got rejected when I applied to a lot of things my first year, and it really like made me sad. Don't let that bring you down, and like just keep persisting and trying. It's definitely not going to be like the easiest year of your life. It's really fun, and stay as positive as you can and just do everything you can that you want to.
My advice is, I guess it builds on theirs, but yes, definitely branch out, but don't feel pressure to like stay friends with everyone you meet. Something that I tried to do for the first few quarters was like every contact that I had, I just for some reason felt like I had to stay friends with them, even if I like wasn't truly myself when I was around them. And it's like that time where you're meeting all these people, and it's totally fine if all those friendships and like new acquaintances don't make it through the first few years of college. And I wish I would have realized that a little sooner, because I put effort into like building relationships that I knew like we just didn't align very well. So I wish I'd have been a little bit more true to myself freshman year and not try to change my personality for the different people I was around. And just been myself, because it really is a blank slate. Like, you're coming from high school, depending on where you're from. I knew no one really from my high school. One person from my high school came here when I came here, so I got the opportunity to kind of like be who I am without this like knowing people knew who I was before. And not everyone has that. Some people have like 30 people from my high school here, but really try to be as true to yourself as you can and not let your personality become just the personality of the people around you. Try and find your own personality.
Yeah, be honest with yourself.
Yeah.
Should we end with the group hug?
Yes. We became friends like sophomore year of college, and we met on Facebook of all places when we were looking for housing. Facebook. And yeah, it's just crazy to show how
you will find your circle of friends.
Yeah, you'll find
Don't worry. There are so many people.
Thanks for watching our video. I hope it was really helpful. If you have any questions about anything, just comment down below. Hopefully it was really helpful.
The views expressed in this video are not direct views of Cal Poly, and we are not associated with Cal Poly. This also is just the experience of 4 students who do not represent the entire student body, and our experience is unique and probably not exactly like anyone else's. So take our advice with that in mind.